Well, here we go again. Another pointless war to enrich the billionaire class, one of which lives in the White House. Damn.
Get strong.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another show from where I sit with Dr. C. I'm your host, Dr. C. Good afternoon. This is our first full length video for the new year, 2026. And we obviously welcome you aboard. We have a lot to get to. But before we get to any of that, I do want to kind of give you a overview of how we did last year. We did end up accumulating about 46 subscribers last year. We also got well over 13,000 views. Now, for me, I think that's pretty doggone good because I am brand new at this, and I'm still kind of a rookie, and so I think those numbers were pretty good. But we are going to invest a little bit more time into producing these videos for you because the number one goal from where I sit with yours truly, Dr. C, is to educate the public, to let you guys know what's going on around the world and in the country, and how all of these news stories or these events are going to ultimately affect you. And by the way, it's really important that you understand that whatever is happening in the world today is going to affect you directly or indirectly. So you need to pay attention. Uh, this new year, we want to do better than we did last year. Where, like I said, we ended up getting around a little over 13,000 views, which is great. I think this year that we want to double that. We want to get it up to about 26,000 views, maybe more. And in addition to that, we want to double the amount of subscribers that we also have right now. So, like I said again, we have 46 subscribers. We want to double that. We want to get another 46 subscribers or more, so that we can hit the road running here with these new videos for the new year. Also, it's also important for me to let you know that uh, uh, the show from where I sit with Dr. C is brought to you by Christopher Studios. Now, outside of me doing these videos for you, a lot of you who follow me, you know that Dr. C drives a truck. This is the final year for me to do that. In addition to me driving the truck, I write a lot of books, children's books and history books because I want to educate people, and why history has a lot to teach us for what's happening now and in the future. And so, in order to produce those books, and also I produce artwork as well. I'm an artist as well. And the reason why I'm giving up the truck at the end of this year is so that I can pursue full time writing and selling my books to the public, and producing, which by the way happens to be my very first love, is art. And to continue to produce art as I've been doing for well over, I would say probably about 20, 30 years now. I love to paint, love to draw, love photography, and I'm pretty good at it. I don't want to toot my horn, but I have been represented by a gallery. I have had solo shows, group shows, and stuff like that. So I want to continue to do that. And so I would be getting out of the truck this year, at the end of this year, and into becoming a full-time artist and author. And by the way, that is my true love, along with you, me educating you, the general public. So that said, we want to increase our size in terms of viewership. In terms of me monetizing the channel or whatever, that's not that important to me. What's really important to me is to educate you, and if you follow me, that's what you're going to get a heavy dose of education to make your lives better through information. So that's the number one goal of the channel. It's the number one reason why I come on here and dedicate my weekends to making sure that these videos are as good as I can get them and share this information with you. So, again, before we get straight into what we're going to talk about today, make sure you subscribe, and if you are already a subscriber, share the show with others. The more we can educate, the better off our community is going to be. So, yes, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm still learning how to do the notifications and stuff like that. I'll get around to it. My primary goal is to make sure that I educate you, our viewers, and our listeners. So let's get straight into what we're going to be talking about today. There's a lot to talk about. First and foremost, you know that Donald Trump has gone to war with Venezuela, another pointless war to enrich the billionaire class. And of course, Donald Trump sitting in the White House is going to benefit greatly because of this action. Make no mistake about it. He is going to enrich himself and his family, and yes, accumulate more power in the Western Hemisphere. That is his goal. Also, we're going to talk about the reasons why he's doing this. It's a lot more complicated than you think, but the reasons are important for you to understand because of what is likely to happen as a result of this illegal war. By the way, this is illegal. He did not go through Congress. He didn't even inform Congress, so it's illegal. Trust me, make no mistake about it. So we're going to talk about petrodollars. We're going to talk about the BRICS nations, what role that they are playing in this whole thing. Like we also said, there's going to be more power for Trump and his cronies. Um, Here's something that you probably don't understand. Uh, I know that a lot of Trump's acolytes and his sycophants are going to go on TV today. Today is Sunday. They're going to go on TV and they're going to tell the American people that they're trying to bring back democracy to Venezuela. No, it's not that at all. They don't even care about that. They don't care about regime change. We'll go into detail about that as well. We're also going to give you a historical context as to why Trump is doing a lot of the things that he's doing right now. And then there is some history out there for us to talk about, and we're going to share that information with you. And then, of course, we'll close out the show. We'll give you a little bit insight, some parting shots, insights in terms of what you can do with this information. So let us get straight to it. First and foremost, you guys probably know, if you're a subscriber to this channel, then you probably know that yesterday morning, early in the morning, Donald Trump, the regime had went on ahead into Caracas, Venezuela, and kidnapped Maduro and his wife. As you also probably know, that the Maduro and his wife have been flown into New York City and they're being held for trial for drug trafficking, which, by the way, is bogus. There is no evidence whatsoever that says that Maduro is involved in drug trafficking, nor does it really point to the idea that Donald Trump actually cares about drug trafficking or narco terrorism. He could care less. This is the story that they've come up with. It makes no sense. There is no evidence that Maduro has been trafficking drugs. There's not a whole lot of evidence that Venezuela has a huge network of drug traffickers. There's no evidence of that either. And there is no evidence that these boats that they've been blowing up, by the way, these boats that they've been blowing up and the people on these boats, that's murder. They have been committing murder on the high seas in international waters, and it is an international crime. It is a war crime. Also, what they are doing is also a crime against the Constitution. This is not my opinion. These are facts. This war is illegal. Donald Trump saying that we're taking back the oil because it rightfully belongs to us. That is also incorrect. That oil belongs to Venezuela. And so all of this stuff that they're trying to sell you is nothing more than a bunch of lies. Here are the facts. This war, this attempt of grabbing Maduro and his wife is a war crime. It is a crime against the Constitution. He has not gone through Congress. Congress declares war. This is an illegal war, and everything associated with it is also illegal. Here are the real reasons why Donald Trump and his regime, and we're going to talk about the person who is actually spearheading this whole thing. Here are the real reasons why they have gone into Venezuela to kidnap Maduro and to do what they say, because there's no pretext anymore. They're just coming right out and saying, we're taking the oil. And that is absolutely true. They are going to take the oil. And if you haven't been paying attention, they've already seized the two tankers to keep for themselves and keep the oil. That is the purpose of this whole event, this whole invasion of a sovereign nation called Venezuela. But there is something else afoot. And what you really need to pay attention to is what I'm about to tell you now. Just a few days before this, the BRICS nations, and I'm going to, I have my notes over here, and the BRICS consist of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and some other peripheral states that have also joined the BRICS alliance. And right before this invasion in Caracas, the BRICS alliance decided that they're going to come up with their own system of buying energy. That is buying oil. That's what we're really talking about here. And what they came up with is called units. That is the name of their currency that they're going with. It's a basket of currency of all of these countries' currencies, and they're calling it units. And what they are doing is using units to subvert the dollar. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, it means this. As it stands right now, all energy is bought and sold with US dollars. And for the common American, this doesn't really mean anything to you, but it does. And here's the reason why it does mean something to you. The debt that the United States has right now on the books, we're talking $26 trillion. Well, the reason why we can continue to carry all of that debt in the trillions is because we are able to sell bonds to buyers, countries, investors, etc. We are able to sell our bonds to anybody around the world who would buy them. And the reason why countries and investors, whales, etc., whatever you want to call them, they buy these U.S. treasuries is because we have the sole benefit of having energy sold using dollars. We have had this advantage since the end of World War II. And we have jealously protected that advantage throughout the ages since World War II. And so with BRICS coming out with their own currency called the units, they're going to use these units to subvert that advantage that we have in selling oil energy using dollars, the US dollar. If we, the United States of America, loses that advantage, you think inflation is bad now? You have seen nothing. If we lose that advantage in being able to have energy sold around the globe using US dollars, that advantage gone, you are going to be living, if you are a US citizen living in this country, you are going to be living in a third world country, only this time it's worse than third world. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why they decided to go into Venezuela, to not only take the oil, yes, it's been about oil, but to respond to these BRICS nations saying that if y'all come out here with these units, we're going to invade all of the countries that y'all rely upon to get your energy. That's the message that they're sending. I, for one, don't believe that it is going to work. The American people are not going to stand for this invasion. We are sick and tired of the United States government using the United States military to enrich the billionaire class and the political class in this country. We're sick and tired of it. And you're already starting to see the American people say, why are we doing this? We don't want y'all doing this, but they're doing it anyway because they don't care what the American people have to say. They absolutely do not care. Y'all need to know that. Y'all need to know that going forward. Next, and probably the most important reason why Donald Trump has decided to do this, if there's one thing that you should know about Donald Trump, it is all about power for himself, himself only, and money for himself and his rich cronies. There used to be a time before Donald Trump that the president would have to divest any of his holdings. He would have to give up all of his wealth. He would have to hand the reins if he was a businessman or whatever, like George W. Bush or George Herbert Walker Bush. They divested. They turned control of their financial holdings and businesses over to someone else. And Donald Trump has not done that. He has basically thumbed his nose at the United States Constitution, Congress, and the American people. Say, I don't give a damn what y'all say or what you think. I'm going to enrich myself and my family. That's why I'm here, besides retribution for everything else. That's why I'm here, and I'm going to do it. And I dare you to do something about it. And so far, no one has done anything about it. The Republican Party, and by the way, I've been telling you this month after month after month, and now I'm telling you again, stop voting for Republicans. They do not care about the American people. They only care about the wealthy 1%. I'm trying to say this as clearly as I possibly can. That's all Republicans care about. The wealthy 1%, the billionaire class, and these very large corporations who, by the way, don't pay taxes. These billionaires don't pay taxes, and these corporations don't pay taxes. You do. And these Republicans could care less about you. They're going to increase your taxes. The billionaire class don't pay taxes, and so that's all they really care about. And the other thing that Republicans only care about is remaining in power, even though they don't deserve it. Okay? That's what Donald Trump, that's Donald Trump's motivation, to enrich himself, to get more power for himself and for the cronies or the sycophants around him in the billionaire class who support him. That's what this whole thing is about for him. But here's something for you. There is a central figure that is pulling the strings during this Venezuela operation and this illegal war in Venezuela. And that person who is single handedly responsible for everything that's happening. By the way, all you have to do is take a look at the news and see what's reporting. Don't go to mainstream media. They're not going to tell you anything that you really, really need to know. They're only going to brush the surface on this, and then they're going to lie to the American people because they're bought and sold by the Trump administration. Just being honest, okay? But with independent media, and there are facts to back this up, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, is the one who's pulling all the strings with what's going on in Venezuela. Marco Rubio has been a communist warrior his whole adult life. His family is from Cuba. They were forced out by the Cuban Revolution and the dictatorship down there. Okay. Fidel Castro, forced out his family and lots of others who all live in South Florida right now. Cuban population in South Florida have been also reliably Republican because Republicans will always say we're against communism, blah, 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 right? And the Cubans believe in that. Okay. And Marco Rubio in his adult life, his political life, has been beating that drum since forever. Well, he is pulling the strings during this Venezuela operation. And the main reason why Marco Rubio is the head dude, if you will, in making this happen is because he hates the communist regime in Cuba. And Cuba has relied upon Venezuela oil to stay afloat, excuse me, since the fall of communism in the USSR, Soviet Union. And so Marco Rubio, is making sure that if we can take out Maduro, cut the head off the snake, and take that oil, we can also take out this communist regime in Cuba. And by the way, this actually might work. The United States of America have been trying to get rid of the communists in Cuba for a very, very long time, and they have been unsuccessful up until now. Well, now that the oil is gone, this actually might work. We all know that the Cuban people don't want to live under communism. We know that they're kind of stuck with what they got. And the government, now that Fidel Castro is dead and passed away, and so his family has no power, it's just a bunch of communist technocrats that run Cuba right now. And I'm sure that the Cuban people would love to overthrow them now that they know that the Cuban government has no financial lifeline from Venezuela. So that is the connection. Hugo Chavez, before he passed away, made sure that Fidel Castro in Cuba got what they needed because they were like-minded individuals. They were both communists, and they were going to look out for each other, and they did. And this is the reason why Cuba has survived all the way up until now. Now that the United States has taken out Maduro and his wife, and the vice president, from my understand, has fled the country to Russia. Don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to report that to you. There is no leadership in Venezuela. And because there's no leadership in Venezuela, a lot of people are asking, well, is there going to be a regime change? The Trump administration could care less. The lady that had won the Nobel Peace Prize and basically said that Donald Trump shouldn't win it, blah, 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 and all this other kind of stuff. a lot of people were speculating that maybe she would be the new head of state. And Donald Trump basically told her, you're not going to be the new head of state because the people don't support you, which I don't know if it's a lie or not. But if it's since it's coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, it's probably a lie. All I know is that he is not supporting her, nor does he care that Venezuela has leadership right now. He's taking the country for himself, basically. Taking the country for himself. And by the way, he is not going to stop there. He has threatened Colombia. He definitely is going to threaten Mexico. He's already told Canadians that Canada needs to be the 51st state. And yes, he is also going to try and take Greenland. Why? Because Trump and the cronies and the sycophants around him, who really basically are running everything, believe the United States of America has the influence in the Western Hemisphere. That's North America and South America and all of these surrounding lands with it. And so that's why they're behaving the way that they are. And the other thing that you need to pay attention is they don't care about the law. They don't care about the constitutional law here in the United States that says that this war is illegal. And they definitely do not care about international law. The norms that we have had since World War II, which the United States of America has played a significant role in making sure that the norms that we had up until this point were about, is to maintain stability globally. All that is gone now. It's gone. And so Donald Trump and his regime are going to make sure that the United States, Russia, and China are going to be on the march to crush democracies across the country, across the world, across the planet. That's the goal. What does this mean for you, the American people? He is going to get American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines killed in unnecessary wars so that he can gain more power for himself and more money for himself and the billionaire class. And they don't care about the American people, the families that have soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines in the military serving right now. I am wearing my T-shirt. I would pull it up. Is from my son. He's in the Army right now. He's serving right now. And when he graduated from boot camp, we went down to support him, obviously, and we bought a lot of gear, merchandise, and stuff like that. And I wanted to wear the T-shirt to commemorate that, because I think it's important for those of you, those families that have people who are serving right now. You might want to consider really getting them out of the military right now if you don't want them participating in these illegal wars. And I trust that you don't, unless you are a triple trumper and you don't care and you want to cause pain and sorrow and suffering for everybody else. Then, yeah, by all means, go ahead and keep your people in the military. But guys, I got news for all of you as well. Excuse me. The Trump administration doesn't care about the military or anybody that serves there. He doesn't. It's all about himself and the billionaire class. That's it. That's all he cares about. And so it's important for you to understand that this is what they are really trying to do. Are they going to be successful? That is the question that you ought to be asking yourself. Are they going to be successful in taking Venezuela's oil? Are there going to be other countries that are going to stand up against this? The answer to both of those questions is one, no, they're not going to be successful. We have never been successful in our foreign policy that included the United States military. We have not been successful in doing anything like that since World War II. Some of you are asking, well, wait a minute, Dr. C, what about the war in Iraq? What about, the first Gulf War, et cetera, et cetera? Iraq, yes, Saddam Hussein is gone, but we have no influence there. We don't. Okay. We literally have no influence there. Yeah, we have access to the oil, but we have no influence over there. None whatsoever. And under this regime, it's not really about the influence. It's just about power for himself at home and enriching himself further as Trump, becoming more of a billionaire and helping those who support him along the way. Elon Musk, the billionaire class, Peter Thiel, all these people, yeah, they're going along for the ride. But I got news for them. That ride is going to be short lived. The American people are not going to stand for this, nor is the international community. They're not going to stand for it either. It looks like they're having their way right now, but trust me, the retribution, the pushback is coming. China and Russia are not going to stand idly by and let the United States do what they're doing in Latin America. It's just not going to happen. And soon as they do push back, Donald Trump, who happens to be a coward because he's a bully, soon as you stand up to a bully, they back down. Trust me on this. They always back down. And China, Russia, the BRICS nations, they're going to stand up and push this back. It's just a matter of time. It is going to happen. And as we get closer towards the end of the show, I do want to give you a historical context to what is happening and why Donald Trump is in power right now. And that historical context comes from Nazi Germany. Dr. C has studied World War II, and in particular Nazi Germany, a lot. And the rise of Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany is extremely similar to what is happening with the rise of Trump. I would say that they're probably very close aligned to being the same person. And they have used propaganda to get where they are today. They have taken an out of touch electorate. Nazi Germany did the same thing. It told a bunch of lies to the electorate, a whole bunch of stuff that the people who supported these folks, and I'm going to say something that is, I don't want to say it, but it is true. If you were a triple Trumper, i.e., that you voted for Trump 3 times, there is a really good possibility. I'm putting this as nicely as I can, that you are a white supremacist. And the Nazi Germany, and the reason why they were able to come into power is because they had a force of personality in Adolf Hitler. I'm going to give Donald Trump credit where credit is due. He has a force of personality, and this is the reason why he has bursted onto the scene in 2016. We have not gotten rid of him yet because of his force of personality. He is a force, let's be honest. And white supremacy in the United States of America and the Aryans in Germany have taken that propaganda to the next level to gain power and hold on to it. Also in Nazi Germany, here's something that you probably don't know. Once Adolf Hitler became chancellor, he sent legislation over to the parliament to get the parliament to give up power. Let me say that again. Once Adolf Hitler became chancellor and became the sole ruler of Germany, he sent legislation over to the parliament to tell the parliament that you guys need to vote your power away and give all of that power to me. And you would think, because the parliament wants to hold on to its own power, right? That we're not going to do that. But they did. They voted away their own power. Why am I telling you that? Because we have a Republican Party that has abdicated their own power to Donald Trump. They've done it since 2016. We all know behind the scenes and in private that a lot of these Republicans in the House and the Senate hate Donald Trump, but they are afraid of him. They are afraid of losing power themselves. So they would rather just go ahead, not officially give up power, but just give him whatever he wants. Tell him he's the greatest, even though they hate his guts. That's giving up power. You've given your own power to the power of the executive. And that's what they've done here with Trump. That's what they did in Germany. What else did they do in Germany once Hitler became the sole ruler of Germany? He went on his march for living space. They called it living space. He went on a march. He invaded Austria, although Austria was willing to become part of Germany anyway. He invaded Czechoslovakia, the hinterlands, and all his other kind. He just went on the march to gain land, and the Europeans, the allies, the former allies in World War One, France and England, let him do it. They let him do it, and Trump, the Trump regime, and these Republicans are on the march to doing the exact same thing. And in the process, unless the American people stand up to them, and I really put emphasis unless the American people stand up to them, they're going to do the same thing, and they're going to get a lot of people killed. Millions of people are going to die if we do not stand up to this garbage. I'm not being hyperbolic, y'all. I'm telling you the truth. History tells us that when tyrants go on the march, millions of people get killed, opposition builds up against them, and what happens? That tyrant gets killed. Adolf Hitler committed suicide in the bunker. A lot of other people that were in the bunker with him committed suicide with him. Those who did not commit suicide were put on trial by the international community, and they were all hanged. What makes you think that the same thing isn't going to happen here? The rest of the world is going to wake up that the United States of America is no longer an ally to the rest of the world. The United States of America, under this regime, is all in it for themselves. And everybody else be damned. You heard it here from where I sit with Dr. C. That wraps up my show for this afternoon. I'm glad that you guys were come on in and join us. Don't forget the show is brought to you by Christopher Studios. Go to the website. It's www.christopherstudios.net. Buy a book. I got a bunch of books that are for sale up there, and we have some artwork as well. Anyway, that's my small pitch for myself. Yes, we would like for you guys to subscribe, tell others about the podcast here. I don't know if we really could call it a podcast, but we're getting there, right? We want to thank you guys for joining us this afternoon, and you guys have a great rest of your week. But before I sign off, we're going to do a video every week, kind of like what we're doing right now, and then you will get shorts throughout the week from me when I'm out on the road. Of course, I have to wait till I get a new phone. I haven't gotten a new phone yet. the holidays are just over and we're trying to recover here at the Dr. C household. But once I get my new phone, I'll be able to do some really good shorts as well. Want to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon. You have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you next week, if not before. Y'all have a great day.
Get strong.